Hello, this is Margaret Munoz with some EFT tapping tips on procrastination. Procrastination is such a universal issue. I sometimes wonder whether anyone's free from it. I know I'm certainly not. So what to do about it? Because putting off taking action really saps your confidence, and it certainly drains mental, emotional and physical energy. And it can definitely get in the way of you achieving big goals or dreams. I suggest the first place to start is with the secondary effects, because my bet is that you heap criticism on yourself for what you're not getting done. So you might feel annoyed, frustrated, upset, guilty. You might even feel useless or like a failure. So it's good to start tapping on these sorts of emotions and criticisms first. So you could go, even though I feel guilty that I haven't started whatever it is, even though I'm so frustrated because I can't get such and such finished, even though I feel annoyed because I haven't got going on whatever it is. And then you tap around on the emotions, so the guilt or the annoyance or the frustration or whatever it is you feel. You might even want to do, even though I feel like a failure because I can't get things done, and tap on that, feel like a failure. And it's always really good to look at letting yourself off the hook for what you haven't done so that you can move on. I always think there's a lot of letting ourselves off the hook that we need to do. So let yourself off the hook so you can move on. Now, let's look at some of the many causes of procrastination. I'm just going to look at 5 here because that's quite enough to be going on with. Number 1 is lack of belief in yourself. A lack of belief in yourself can cause paralyzing fear. Makes you delay decisions, put off doing things, or you don't get things finished because you're afraid that you'll be judged or criticized. You want it to be perfect or all hell will break loose. So I do know about this. Doing these videos has brought out my perfectionist streak, and it took me a year to write my first book when probably I could have written it in 3 weeks probably. So really tap on that needing to be perfect, wanting to be perfect, and that fear of being harshly judged or criticized, and that you might not be enough, or that whatever you've done won't be good enough. A lack of self-esteem always carries with it a fear of rejection, and so that's what makes it so difficult to pick up the phone, for instance, and make those sales calls. So tap on the fear of rejection and hearing somebody say no. It's not personal, it's just somebody setting their boundaries. So instead of making another cup of coffee, tap on your fear of being rejected. So you go make that call. Number 2 is the job is too big. It's too overwhelming. The very idea of completing the whole project is so overwhelming that you don't even start. So the solution to this is to chunk it down into small, doable tasks. You might want to tap on not knowing where to start, feeling overwhelmed by the whole thing, it being too complicated, too difficult, too big. I've helped some people complete their tasks by a combination of tapping and breaking it down into little doable tasks. It's amazing what can happen when you do that. Number 3 is you just don't like doing something. You could ask yourself some questions. Can you delegate it to somebody else? Could you outsource it? Could you get some help with it? Could you go about it in a more creative way? Could you try doing it at a better time? For instance, when you're more fresh. So tap on how you feel about doing something, that you can't stand doing it, or that it's really boring. You might find that as you tap, you start to gain energy or think more creatively about it, which enables you to then go and get it done. Number 4 is not allowing yourself to feel good. This is a pet theory of mine that says that procrastination is about not allowing yourself to feel good, because you maintain the status quo and it validates the beliefs that you have about yourself. Because if you did take action, there might be a really big payoff. It could be financial in terms of self-satisfaction or feeling happy. You could counteract this by making a choice. So if you tap in a choice, I choose to allow myself to feel happy, fulfilled, satisfied, abundant, whatever it is you want to feel, by getting this job done. Give yourself that gift. Number 5 is the tasks don't actually need doing. Take a look at your list. Does what's on it really need doing? Is it important? Is it going to take you in the direction you want to go? Or is it just making you feel bad that you haven't done it? So do you need to knock it off the list or give it to somebody else? Okay, now that you know what you really want to get done, let's take a look at the behaviours that sabotage you. Putting off, distracting, avoiding, excuses. Make a list of them, ready for a tapping session, and then get tapping. Now, even though I keep putting off doing whatever it is, even though I make a cup of coffee, phone a friend, check my emails, watch TV, watch a YouTube video, keep doing that, rather than do whatever. You might even want to tap on, even though I'm waiting for inspiration. I'm just waiting for inspiration. So tap your way through all the behaviours that you do. It will make it just so much easier for you to get things done. And then finally, instead of focusing on what you haven't done, which creates constriction, contraction, and paralysis, start to focus on what you have done. Praise and reward yourself when you do get something done. That's the best bit and makes you feel good about yourself. And then when you feel good about yourself, it gives you the energy to take the next step. And in this way, you create momentum. Praise is expansive. Let's tap in some choices to finish with. I choose to start focusing on what I have done. I choose to congratulate myself on tasks completed. I choose to praise myself continually. I choose to get on a roll of action to create momentum. Yes, good luck with that.